those communications and lines of openness. They recently adopted a resolution for allowing in-state, for allowing undocumented students to pay in-state tuition. That we call a peer tuition equity, and we will work together on that. Thank you.
I think the energy here at the campus is actually very good. There are some things that I would like to see changed, and I think many of us would like to see changed. So, you know, it's like you said, you know, each time an election occurs, I don't think that the wheel should be reinvented for how the council runs. But, you know, I do want to see some efficiency and some transparency brought to the way that the school deals with the funding issues that are at hand. You know, once things are pulled from the budget, they're gone. And without the community of the school body knowing that things are on the chopping block or things are in a state of change, we don't have a way of speaking up and fighting for programs that are important to us. So, you know, those are the things that I'd like to see changed, is bringing more efficiency and an open communication again to what's important to the student body, and also what's changing and what's occurring and what could be being taken away with the budget issues that are at hand. So great energy, and I just want to see it continue to move toward a positive and successful school year.
Thank you, candidates. So that concludes our section of preset questions, and we've formulated 6 questions from the audience that you guys submitted. So I will be reading these, and we'll just go in the same order, and we'll start with Tobin. What is your projected budget, and how do you plan to raise capital to fund projects not included in student fees without raising the student fee? And please ask me if you need me to repeat the question at any time.
Well, unfortunately, my lack of experience in ASG makes it so I actually have no idea what any kind of projected budget might be. I do know that, for instance, the Diversity Resource Center is allocating about $60,000 that we're able to spend. So whatever we're able to get is going to be a lot more than that. I believe that as far as raising capital, I think that you have to be really careful on what kind of fundraisers that you do, because, because it can sometimes garner the wrong kind of money. As it was said before, any donation to a school is a tax write-off, and it would be good to bring in businesses that can potentially donate. Although, whether it be in the form of scholarships, whether it be, for instance, sponsoring certain events, like, for instance, even the ASG election could have been sponsored by a particular group or a particular business in the area. So, yeah, that's my hopeful plans for ASG. Thank you.
In terms of talking about our projected budget, ASG actually has a pretty big budget. And if you look at our campaign, what we're looking at and what we're talking about doing are not things that cost $50,000 or anything like that at all. We're talking about many small cost items, and even some things that are completely volunteer, such as going ahead and having litter patrols that ASG will lead and hopefully get volunteers involved in. That doesn't cost a thing. Going ahead and doing some of these other projects, very minimal cost again. So if you look at through our platform, these will easily fit within ASG's budget with a ton of room left over. And now for all the rest of that, this is again why we need to survey the students. What do the students want? How would they like us to spend all of that money? So if we go ahead and really get out there and find out what they would best like us to spend, you know, our nice large budget on, then that's the best way we can go about spending most of the money.
I agree with my opponents over here on the side of donations and volunteer work. I don't know the exact amount of the budget for next year, but I did sit in the Finance Council. I'm not as a voting member though, but I am aware and I am okay with the decisions that the co-curricular took in both athletics to save their money for future use. I know from the athletic side point of view, we are in need of new track and new drainage system in our fields. It's a good decision that the dean, Kim Hyatt, made the decision by waiting to find a better deal instead of using their portion of the money and using it on a track material that wouldn't last more than 5 years. I know that there's also emergency money for TriMet, emergency bus passes for TriMet.
Can you please repeat the question?
What is your projected budget, and how do you plan to raise capital to fund projects not included in the student fee without increasing the student fee?
ASG has one of the largest budgets to spend over the college, and it's divided into different groups and different aspects of the ASG, but most importantly, it goes back to the students. It's being given back to the students. In terms of not increasing the student fee, it is really important that Antonio and myself advocate for more funding, for more access and opportunities, grants, Oregon Opportunity Grant, Pell Grant, those things, for more funding to come in to help ease the financial burden of the students so we don't have to raise, so we don't have to cut. And that's what we're about. Thank you.
The student council budget is provided to us, so us as candidates don't necessarily have access to the budget as it is. But those are all public records. You know, there's many things that are on the school's budget that, you know, could be wisely or more wisely spent or more efficiently spent. You know, I know that there are millions of dollars a year in regional and national grants that go unclaimed. So, you know, I see as a part of our student government's objective and responsibility is to find those resources that are in our community and that are out there and orchestrate teams of people to put the energy involved in winning those grants. You know, like our Barney's Pantry, which is a wonderful thing that student government has done, is not currently resourced with the Oregon Food Bank. And that's something that is a great resource. And seeing those two come together could benefit the students here as well as our community locally at large. So those are just a few of my thoughts on that.
Along with most of the other candidates, I don't have a direct number for what the budget is, but I do know that we would like to continue the spending for the things that, the programs that already do exist, for the clubs that already do exist, but it's about increasing the awareness of those clubs, increasing our awareness and our involvement with the community. We want the community to feel like Mount Hood is giving something back. I think through using local businesses for opportunities, for better volunteers, for more internships, to where they can see that Mount Hood is a part of them, that we're actually doing something here, that we're not just here to get our certificates and get out, but we're actually provide something back to the community. And I think in turn, we can see a better return from that. So, thank you.
All right, Jeremy's going to start us off with the second question from the audience. Specifically, how are you going to engage students? Specifically.
Well, engaging students really is the important thing here on this campus. As I said, we need to let them know what's going on, and then we need to give them incentives and a feeling of pride to actually get involved. So, specifically, ways to go ahead and get students involved. We'll hold larger, big group activities that are Mount Hood specific, so as to get people feeling like they're saints. We'll go ahead and hold Pride Weeks each quarter. So we'll go ahead and be wearing our red and black. We'll all join together. We'll be saints. We'll be focusing throughout the year on, as I said, on events that will promote our red and black wearing. We'll promote our saints. Also, as president of the Mad Scientists, I know that clubs are very important to going ahead and getting students involved here on campus. So we'll go ahead and have workshops for the clubs. As I said, so we'll help them learn how to market. We'll help them learn how to go ahead and fundraise. We'll help them learn how to go ahead and get students involved. And